So we've got our list of keywords here. So if I was building a website about blogging, then I would go ahead and start choosing the ones that would be the most lucrative, deciding which ones are going to be my main keywords, which ones will go with which pages, which ones I'm going to do into articles and that sort of thing. So you start sorting them further on how you're going to use them on the website. So like we've got definitely got some great blog topics here, like how to start blogging, make money blogging, blogging tips. Those could each be their own article. For the website, and we'll give some tips on how to properly optimize text and how to make the most of these keywords a little bit later in the presentation. So there we go. So that's what the keyword research tool, that's the Google keyword research tool. That's how you use it to find keywords for your website here. There's a couple of other, the worksheet that I will email out lists some paid and some other free options. One of the ones that I really like is this word tracker. They're actually a paid you can pay for their service. They've got some really detailed data. It's what I use when I actually do keyword research for my clients. It's a little bit more in depth than the Google keyword tool, but it also is a little bit more expensive. It's about $70 a month, $300 a year. However, if you are really serious about using blogging to grow your business, then it may make some sense to do that because you would be able to really get your keywords and optimize everything so it would pay for itself in the traffic. It all just kind of depends on how serious you are about your blogging. This tool, though, is a free tool they had where you can basically put in any keyword, and you can see some of the ones we were doing from the last class, but let's go ahead and put blogging in there. And when you put the word blogging in there and you search for it, it'll show you all of the questions that people have searched using your keyword phrase. So like we talked about earlier, any phrase with the word blogging in it. So what is blogging, how to earn money blogging. And so this, again, it doesn't show you how competitive it is, but it does show how often something is asked. Now, the word tracker data is a little different from Google data in that it uses a smaller sampling of sites on the internet. So this is actually really only about 1% of true searches. So this is actually about 1,600 people a month searching that if you looked at it in Google. But still definitely gives you an idea that fair amount of search volume, the higher the number. And it's also a 12-month rolling period versus the Google data is only 30 days. So it does give you a longer time frame. But obviously this question, what is blogging, is a good one. And so you may write a whole topic about explaining what blogging is. And again, this how to earn money blogging and the how to make money blogging, just like we saw in Google, those come up again here. And so those, again, would be excellent choices for that. So this shows you your keyword question tool. So this can be great for finding topics to basically answer these questions on your blog. And then the last thing I'm going to show you is they've got this free keyword suggestion tool where you can enter a keyword in and it'll show you related terms based on that keyword. And so what it does is it shows you now, you can see here it's blurring out the additional data where it's showing the competition numbers, but it's at least showing you the number of searches per year and the top ones. So this is another one you can use to get some ideas. So blogging preschool, make money blogging, just to help you find keywords. So this is just sort of an alternative to the Google keyword tool. So that's 3 really great tools that are free. There's some others out there that are a little less expensive, some that have different features. All worth looking at, but certainly as you can see with these 3 free tools we've got here, enough to really get you started and keep you going for quite some time. So that's our keyword tools. I'm going to go ahead and bring us back to the presentation. And we're going to talk specifics about blogging. Now that you've got your keywords, how are you going to use them and make the most out of them to really get that traffic to your website? There's a lot of tools out there that you can use to blog with. There's free ones like WordPress.com, Blogger, Blogspot. There's some paid tools like TypePad, I think is a monthly. You could certainly blog on your current website, especially some people have websites that have already been built. You could just add articles on there as a blog in a blog style, or even using like a corporate website if you're with a larger corporate entity and they provide you a stock site. A lot of times they have where you can fill your content in. You can build on Facebook and that sort of thing. My caution there would be beware of the free tools. You wouldn't build your house on rented land, and you really don't want to build your biggest marketing asset on something that's borrowed from someone else. I definitely am a proponent of, if you're going to blog, have a freestanding blogging site, a self-installed version of WordPress that you have control of and access to yourself. On any of those free sites that somebody else pays for you, they could change the rules at any time. That's part of the, the terms and agreement. You agree to operate under their terms, and so they could change that and make it very difficult, or lock your content up, or anything that could really cause some problems for you. So again, you wouldn't build your house on rented land. You definitely don't want to build your site there either. My recommendation again is using your hosting, so that can be through GoDaddy or any other hosting company, and installing WordPress that way. GoDaddy's actually got an automatic install process that makes it very easy. We have a book that we sell that explains step by step how to install and set up WordPress. It's really not very difficult. I also teach some classes hands-on on that. But definitely something that is worth taking the time and the effort to do, because then you've got total control of that. You can build your whole website using WordPress, and that's actually a trend that's happening big time right now. So you can build not just a blog, but the entire website, the pages around the blog, and it looks really great. You never guess it's built on WordPress. It's something you can easily manage and update yourself. You don't need a webmaster, and there's a ton of professional templates. So definitely my recommendation, the way to go. You have to decide if you want to do separate blog and the website together. Definitely integrated has some benefits, but it all kind of depends on your strategy as well. My answer is, of course, both, because I believe in the power of that. You definitely want that traffic you're pulling into your blog to be going and viewing the rest of your website and picking up the phone and calling you, or placing that buy button. So the next question becomes, once you've selected your tool, you've got your keywords, what's my content going to be? And that's sometimes the hardest one. Writer's block is a devil, but also the easiest to answer when you really break it down into, there's basically 4 types of content you can create. So kind of look at what your strengths are and play to those strengths. It's not a one-size-fits-all solution. And you also want to consider whether what you're writing about is going to be informational or promotional. Informational is educational type things, so answering those questions we looked at a minute ago, versus promotional, talking about your products, talking about what's going on in your company. I would say use like a 70-30 rule. It's okay to write some promotional content, but definitely the bulk of it needs to be more on the educational, less marketing side. So definitely keep that in mind, 70-30, but that's not to say that you can't use your blog like a press room also to talk about company business and the great things you have going on. You can also mix it up. You don't have to stick with a single kind of content. If you decide to start out with one, you can always add more later. So we've got text. That's our first one here. That's your traditional writing. That is the best for search engine optimization purposes, because it is the words that the search engines looks at. So that is an important piece. So if you hate to write, may I suggest that you hire an outside copywriter to at least get some text articles on your website. You could also ask people to come and guest blog on your site. So it's not that you have to write it all yourself, but that definitely is an important piece of that, because that's gonna be the most important for the SEO. But that's not to say that you have to do entirely text either. Just a little bit will go a long way. You've got video as an option. Video blogging is great, and definitely second to text in its strength for search engine optimization. The second most popular search engine in the world besides Google is YouTube. Google places a little bit more weight on video content, partly because it's an owner of YouTube, but also because it's just more engaging. People really like video content, so video is a great way to go. You can do photos depending on what your business is. If you're in a business that lends itself well to photography, i.e. if you're a photographer, or perhaps if you're a caterer, you could post pictures of your dishes. If you're an ice sculptor, you could post pictures of your work. So depending on what your business is, if it's appropriate, photography could be a great way to go. Or audio files. You can use a tool like Skype to call and interview people in your industry, people in related businesses who aren't your competition. Interview them, talk about their business, record that using Skype, which is a free tool, and post that on your website as a blog. So definitely some great tools there, some ways that you can add media to make your site a little bit more interactive, and then also just mix up the content a little bit. So tips for blogging. My biggest one is the idea that you must do it regularly. So rinse, lather, and repeat. You need to set a schedule and stick with that schedule. So once a week, once a month, every 2 weeks. Really, for if you're blogging to get more traffic on your website to grow your business, you must be blogging at least twice a month. But really, honestly, it should be more like once or twice a week. If you want to really pump things up every day, certainly if you're looking to sell like ad revenue on a blog, that's definitely at least a couple times a week. That's something you have to look at with your business, look at your schedule and pick something. Consistency here is more important than frequency. So if really it's never going to happen, then it's going to be more than twice a month, and just go with twice a month and stick with it. Couple more tips when you're writing your posts. You want them to be between 300 and 500 words for the best SEO. You want to use your keywords in the title of your article, so that in that blogging example earlier, we would want to use the word blogging in the title of our article. So like if we were using that what is blogging, we would title the article what is blogging. We want to use it in the text 3 to 5 times. So we would use that phrase what is blogging in our text that we're actually writing 3 to 5 times. If we're doing video, we would actually name the video what is blogging. You also need to include it in your meta tags, which are those hidden tags on your in your software. So that's going to be the title tag, the description tag, and the keyword tag itself. You're going to again use that same phrase, what is blogging. So you would title it what is blogging. You would put in the descriptions, learn about what is blogging. Obviously, you'd want it to be a little bit better English than that, and then also in your keywords. So you want to repeat that several times throughout the article. Another little tip is if you can find some way to link that phrase to another place within your website. Maybe you've got a further, more in-depth article. A link with the text, with your keyword text, also is helpful, but sometimes a little bit difficult, so don't force that one. And so that's basically the tips for preparing your content. And then lastly is don't be afraid to look for outside help. We touched on that a minute ago. Ask guest bloggers, so people in related but not competitive businesses. Do Skype phone interviews. I do just a weekly roundup of industry news because I don't always have time to write my own original content, but I read a lot of blogs talking about what's going on in the marketing world, which certainly there's a lot of that. So I basically pick the top 2 articles each week and write a little synopsis of why I think that's important, and then link back to the article. Now, you can't copy those articles wholesale. Google really does not like duplicate content, and that could definitely cause some penalization for your site. So don't copy it word for word, but certainly you can include an excerpt, you can include quotes from it, but you want to include some of your own analysis as well, but it doesn't need to be too terribly long, just a couple of sentences and then a link to that article. That can also be a great strategy for getting you noticed by other bloggers. If you are sending a lot of traffic their way, they may ask you to guest post, so it's a great way for you to get some exposure, and so definitely worth the time. So you've got your blog, you're blogging regularly, you're doing everything right. The last thing you want to do is you want to look at how social media plays into this. And basically, you need to view your blog or your website as your digital hub. So feed all your social media into and out of that. I will also send out a little flyer that I've got that shows how you can basically post to 50 plus websites, social media sites, using essentially 3 clicks, and in fact it could be as little as 1 depending on what content and where you want it to go. There's a lot of great distribution services out there that help you to syndicate your content to all these sites like YouTube, to Facebook, to Twitter, to even ones you've never heard of. There's specifically a video tool called TubeMogul that goes to like 50-some video sites. So that's Yahoo Video, that's Facebook Video, that's YouTube Video, that's Vimeo, and a lot of other smaller ones as well. So that would be step 1, is you post to your video distribution service. It goes out there and posts it to all those sites for you.